I got to walking around the backside of Gregory here, and hey, what did we find? The missing blue cup. I don't even know how it got in there. Gregory apparently is a lush. Alright, welcome back to DuckmanCycles and VW Garage. I'm your host, the Duckman. We're back today with my bus named Gregory. And what we're doing today is we're raising the steering box. And you might say, hey, you know, why are you going to bother doing that? The idea is I'm actually going to lower Gregory. The first thing that sticks down the lowest on the front is that steering box. If you can see the frames up here in the front, the steering box actually attaches to the bottom of it and sticks down quite a bit. So it's one of the first things that's going to hit the road. If you do lower the bus a little bit, I suppose you don't have to raise it. But since I've got to do the floors and everything anyway, it made sense to raise it now in case I changed my mind later and decided to do it then. It would just be a pain in the ass. We're going to raise that up probably about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, something like that. Stay tuned to this. We'll show you exactly what it takes to do it. And as always, licky, likey, comment, subscribe, pluck that dingle belly. And don't forget to check out duckshit.net for all my different social media links. If you're interested in some merch, duckshit.net/store. And if you want to join me up on Patreon, patreon.com/duckshit. Thanks, you guys. Really appreciate it. We'll be back right after this intro. Okay, we are up underneath the nose of the bus right now, and this is the frame spar on the left-hand side. The steering box normally attaches to these 3 bolts and 2 that are up here on the bottom. So what the idea is I have to cut out this little section here and raise it up and weld it back in. And I don't want to go any higher than the other frame spar here that's on the other side. That's right where the floor is going to be even with. That equates to roughly 2 inches. If I do have to modify the floor a little bit, hey, I can modify the floor a little bit, but this is just for demonstration purposes. For anybody else that also wants to raise their steering box, this is how you do it. And I'm a little leery about using a Sawzall, because if you remember correctly, way up there, and you can see it, all that rust and junk is going to be falling down when this frame starts shaking this whole front end of the bus. But you know what? I might just do it anyway because I think a Sawzall is going to be the best tool. And as you probably saw from the intro, I've already got it all cut out. So pretty much what we need to do at this point is just weld it back together. So, well, stay tuned. Let's show you what happens. Here's the piece that I cut out. I'm going to mount it up probably about this high. This is higher than the recommended amount. This is right about 2 inches. I was recommended to do it only about 1.5 inches. But you know, I am the MFDM. So don't tell me no. Anyway, I figure that's about the max that I can get it without having to do some major floor modifications. But since I have to put a floor in here anyway, very obviously I'm looking up in the cabin, I figure that's about the max I should do, which is the same as the frame on the opposite side. I've also cut some pieces of flat bar to weld up into here to mount that piece in between. So I think that's what's next, is to make all this fit together. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump right on that. Of course, I cleaned it down so that way it can weld up nice and easy. It's all bare metal over here. I thought this was going to be much more rusted too. It actually turns out to be in pretty good shape. So, yep, it's rebuildable. Let's go for it. All right, there it is in place. Looks pretty good. Yeah, the gap is a little big down here. I'll get it tapped and then I'll hammer it into place. I actually want this to expand just a little bit, so that way when I push the steering box up into place, it'll kind of fall into place versus having to force it in there. So yeah, this will be opened up a little bit. We'll just get it tacked and get it started. Anyway, you guys are with me. We're gonna go ahead and time lapse the rest of this and let's see how it goes. All right, effectively we have been raised. I went ahead and cleaned up all the welds on there. It looks like it's gonna be good to go. On the inside here in this arch, I had to clip a little bit of metal out of it because I actually raised this steering box much higher than I would have otherwise. So it needed to have a little bit of metal removed from it. I still need to clean it up a little bit. Some of these edges are a little jaggy. But the steering box should go right into place. Just like that. There it is. I think I probably could have gone a little higher, but I think that's good for now. I don't need to raise it anymore. All right, well, we are done for the day on this project. Anyway, I stuck the steering box up in there just to see how everything fit. It does not need any additional modification. It was a good thing I flared out the bottoms here a little bit. It made it just press right into place without any effort. I got just the top bolt in it right now, but all the other bolt holes line up, even if that one does, because that was all pre-manufactured by Volkswagen. Anyway, I probably could have made it a little bit higher. Looking around this side over here, looking up inside of there, you can see that the box is still way down between the frame spars. So yeah, I probably could have brought it up some, although this would have come through the floor. And even there, right where it's at right now, it still might even come through the floor. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And then here's the side that I clearanced a little bit just to make it fit around that box, and it looks like it did a pretty good job. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap up this video. I figured we should take a formal measurement here, see how much we raised it up. It looks like it's, I'm gonna call it 1 15/16, so just under 2 inches. I could have gone 2 inches, but I just eyeballed it and went with it as it is. So anyway, that worked out real nicely. All right, out of all the things that I've done before, welding on Volkswagens, that's had to have been probably one of the easiest. It was just cut the frame, notch it, move it up with a couple of pieces of flat bar, and you're done. I'm quite pleased with the way it turned out. Moving on from here, I hope I have enough footage to actually make a 10-minute video. That was like that stupid easy. Anyways, as always, guys, licky, likey, comment, subscribe, pluck that dingle belly. You get updates every time I upload a video. Don't forget to check out duckshit.net for all my different social media links. You'll also find my other YouTube channels there, so please hit it up and have a look. Duckshit.net/store for all of my different merch. That's right, you too could be wearing a DuckmanCycles hat or shirt. How about that? And lastly, check me out on Patreon. If you'd like to support this project as well as the other things that I do here on this channel, please check out patreon.com/duckshit. Thanks a lot, you guys, for watching. Really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be back again tomorrow with some more Gregory fun times. Take care. And there's one last thing that I do before I ever walk away from these jobs whenever welding near all these pine needles, and that's soak the ground nice in case there's anything smoldering. Don't need to have any fires.